Bowens battery packs are really nice. They're really robust and all metal and rubber in the parts that you would expect it to protect the metal. And they're made to be used in the field. They're made to be used by professionals, 20 or 30 years ago. They use older style of batteries in that they are lead acid type batteries. But the good news is that those are readily available and they're inexpensive. I think you can get a replacement battery online at Amazon or even at Home Depot if you order it for about 20 bucks. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit here is how you'd go about swapping out one of these batteries. And I guess before I get into that, I should say that these power packs, first of all, only work with Bowens strobes, and they're only going to work with, I think, the Gemini strobes. If you look on the right of this image, there is some cables. The cables have many pins associated with them, and you're going to need to look at the back of your Bowens strobe to make sure that that kind of configuration is there. So I'll just show you a quick image of that. In the bottom here, you can see the battery input, and you can see kind of the weird connection that's required. So if the back of your Bowens strobe doesn't look like this, or if it doesn't, the manual say that it supports a battery pack, then you're going to not probably be interested in this. But the unit itself comes in two pieces, and I'm going to show you that. The top piece is the inverter. That's really lightweight, and all that does is converts the battery power into like main electrical power that the strobe wants to use. You can see on the left here, there's a little charging unit. It's a trickle charger. So the charger actually just plugs in. That's how you charge up the battery. The switches on this are really well made and have a good feel to them. There's some nice rubber bumpers at the top as well as at the bottom of the unit. I'm going to show you that in a minute. You need to take them off the bottom in order to take the case apart. So yeah, this was meant for a professional, and it's stood the test of time. It's 20, maybe 30 years old, the one that I have. So here on the side, you can pull some tabs and actually split the unit in two. So what you're looking at is on the left would be the inverter, and on the right is where the battery is housed. And if you take apart the sides, there's a series of maybe 10 screws, and with a Phillips screwdriver, you just easily take those out, and it will expose the battery. In this case, I needed to take the rubber bumper off the bottom in order to get to some of the screws. But the whole thing to take it apart takes just a couple of minutes. And this is actually what the battery looks like. You want to go for something that's called an NP7, and this is 12 volts, and it's 7 amp hours. So what I would recommend is when you take your unit apart, if you're going to swap out the battery, is to actually measure the size of the battery. It is a fairly tight fit. I believe these batteries are all about the same dimensions. But just being off a little bit, I don't know if that makes a difference or not. To be safe, I would just measure it. And you can see on the top, the way the battery is connected to the unit, there's a green cable and a red cable, and they just literally slip on a prong that sticks out from the battery. So there's nothing to tighten down. There's no clamp or any of that kind of stuff. And when you look at the NP7 style of batteries, you'll see that there's sort of this little tab that sticks up. So I kind of showed this earlier, but on the back of your unit is going to be where you do the battery input. And so you don't use the main power plug, which is in the right. You use the connector, which is under the word Bowens. The way you turn it on is the on-off switch, which is right above the word Bowens. You actually flip that to the symbol that looks like a battery. And Here you can see the cable. It's, I don't know, 3 feet. I haven't really measured it. It's not super long, but you can also, the pack isn't so heavy. You could actually hang the pack, with the cable relatively close to where the light unit is. So if you wanted to fly this kind of high, and had a good light stand, that would be an approach as well. So, these things you will find occasionally on eBay with a refreshed battery. You'll also find them where they say they can't hold a charge. The ones that can't hold a charge probably just need a new battery, and the batteries are easy to replace, easy to find.